Now we all know that Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the first president of India and he was elected in the year 1947? Not exactly, it was in the year 1952. Similarly, first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, was not elected in 1947. Again, he was also elected in the year 1952. So what really happened between 1947 and 52? Because we all know that 1947 is, we got an independence, right? So in actuality, from 1947 to 1952, there was no elected government. It was the Constituent Assembly that was doing everything it could to unify India and carry out the necessary deeds. Now let us start chronologically. Yeah, that's what our politicians say. So India got its independence from the informal dominion of the British on August 15th, 1947. And as we know, there were various provinces, many of which agreed to be part of India and some of them didn't. The Nizam. So those princely states signed the letter of accession. The princely states were also called the provinces and they had provincial assemblies of their own. In 1946, that is before the independence of India, those provincial assemblies elected members. These members formed the interim government in the prime ministership of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Also, Nehruji was invited by Lord Mountbatten to form the interim government after the independence. Now, this Constituent Assembly appointed Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the president of the assembly in December 1946. Now, after independence, that is on August 29, 1947, the Constituent Assembly appointed a drafting committee that was tasked to frame the Constitution of India. Here, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was appointed as the chairman of the drafting committee. Now comes the Constitution. But no, the Constitution was not passed on January 26, 1950. Actually, the Constitution was passed and adopted by the Constituent Assembly on November 29, 1949. I hope you're making note of this. Might come handy during your examination or UPSC preparation. Alright, coming back. The Assembly decided to officially enact the Constitution on January 26, 1950. The reason behind this was that January 26 is also the date when the Indian National Congress demanded complete independence of India from the British as opposed to dominion status in 1930. And enactment of India's own constitution will make India a republic that will ensure complete independence from the British. Hence, the Constitution was enacted and it replaced the Government of India Act of 1935. From that day onwards, India celebrates Republic Day every year on January 26. January 26, 1950 is also the date when Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected by the Constituent Assembly as the first president of Free India, and the Election Commission was also established on this date. But here comes the catch. The first general elections and the first presidential elections were conducted by the Election Commission during 1951 to 1952. So the election of the Prime Minister and the President of India was officially done in 1952. But what actually happened during the course of 2 years, that is 50 to 52, and why did the election take place so late? The reason behind this was the demarcation of India, and the mapping of India was also taking place. In 1950, China took official control of Tibet and came to our borders at the McMahon Line, that is the Northeast Frontier Agency. Hence, India needed to look at the boundaries and start building foreign relations. Also, Election Commission needed time to research the population and the ethnicity of the public in various states. Because of this, the first census of independent India took place in February 1951. After this, the first election in India was held in 1951 to 52. That is from 25th October 1951 to 21st February 1952. Simultaneous elections to state legislatures also took place. It was the largest election at that time as 1949 candidates competed for 489 seats in Lok Sabha, and more than 173 million people from all over India were eligible to vote, and the voters' turnout was 45.7%. The Indian National Congress, or INC, won those elections, securing 364 out of the 489 seats. Jawaharlal Nehru became the first elected Prime Minister of India.